Join Amy Chain and senior thought leaders from Vanguard's investment strategy and portfolio review groups to discuss portfolio construction topics that have become top of mind for our investors. Here's what our experts had to say in today's episode.
Hi, I'm Amy Chain at Vanguard. Welcome to today's program where we'll discuss the considerations for combining active and passive investments, a topic that's top of mind for many investors across the globe. Joining us to address common client questions on the topic and to discuss a framework investors can follow are members of Vanguard's Global Investment Strategy Group and Portfolio Review Department. Thanks all for being here today. We've been hearing a lot about new ways of indexing like smart beta, fundamental indexing, and active quantitative indexing. Many clients consider both active and passive when building their portfolios. How does Vanguard do both active and passive management well?
Well, on the passive side, our philosophy is really to offer the best possible products at the lowest possible prices. So we're always trying to lower the expense ratio of our products. But we also go out there and we find the best benchmarks for every single asset class. And people normally think about indexing, the advantages of indexing being low cost, diversification, risk control. But there's really a second tier of reasons why indexing works so well. And that's low turnover, low transaction costs.
On the active side, it really comes down to talent, cost, and patience. It's so important, critically important when you're employing an active strategy to ensure that you have the most talented manager with the most disciplined investment process that they've most consistently applied over time. And unfortunately, this is becoming more and more competitive. Investors can improve their odds by ensuring that they're paying the smallest amount for that access to active management over time. And they also have to recognize that they're going to need to be patient, because even those managers who have the skill and who might have been able to outperform over time are also going to encounter sometimes extended periods where they underperform.
The one thing that both Walter, you and Jeff mentioned that I think link the two together then is ultimately cost. So we're able to get successful strategies at a low cost. I think a lot of times we think about intuitively in other areas of life where if you pay more, you're going to get higher quality or more performance. But the counterintuitive thing in the investment industry is really if you're able to decrease your costs, whether it's active or passive, we're able to improve the odds of long-term investment success.
Jeff, what are some key considerations for investors when selecting an active manager?
Sure. So as we've discussed, for most investors, most of the time, we really believe that index portfolios can be a great option for them. But for those investors who do have a preference for active management, our conviction in active management is really conditional upon a variety of characteristics being in place. The firm has to be stable and sound with a diverse client base and a stable asset base over time. The investment team needs to be deep and experienced and stable. We look closely at that investment process and look to ensure that it's been consistently applied, both in periods where the market has favored any investor's style of investing, but also periods where maybe their style of investing encountered challenges. We believe that if you have the right firm, you have the right investment team, and they've employed a consistent process over time, they increase their odds of outperforming.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about your answer, and that we talk about at Active Management Vanguard, is that it's not about past performance exclusively. So, Jeff, you talked a lot about the process and about the people, and those are critical considerations. And while we, of course, would like to see a track record of some type of success, it's not about that purely, because as we know, active management can be inconsistent, there can be periods of underperformance, so it's really important to go beyond just what has the last 3 or 5 year performance been, and understand more about the teams and about the specifics of the active manager that you're actually purchasing.
And the process can be littered with paradox. Sometimes the best managers who might be most poised to outperform going forward can be those that have struggled the most relative to a benchmark over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years.
On that note, I'll say thank you all for joining us today, and I'll say thank you for watching. More about Vanguard's perspective on active-passive combinations in a portfolio is available on our website.